You'll forge it to the lines. You let your callous be your shield, and everyone will say that it all was finished years ago, but you will stay, and you won't ever let it go. When you had the answer, and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. When you had the answer, and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of Zad's Galaxy Tour, brought to you by Zealous Racing League. My name's Shim. Happy to welcome you all back to another week of racing here with Zealous. Here this week, we're at the beautiful Spa-Francorchamps in wonderful Belgium. Our drivers are going to be competing in a 65-minute race today with one mandatory pit stop. And they are going to have a 90% pit window. 90% of the race will be within the pit window. So that means approximately 58.5 minutes of the pit window in the middle of the race. So plenty of time for our drivers to take that pit. And it's gonna be a fun race today. We'll see if our championship leader, Christopher Larson, can keep his championship lead and keep it secured with a three-peat of wins. He has currently won the first 2 rounds at the Indy Road Course and at Brands Hatch last week. Huge shout out and thank you to good friend of Zealous and the amazing commentator and streamer Whelp Cakes last week, Philip. Some of you might know him as Philip. Thank you so much for him filling in for me last week. I was busy with some work, work necessities. I was traveling for work, so wasn't able to be at my streaming station, wasn't able to broadcast the race myself. So big thanks to him for coming in clutch and being able to take care of that for me and for the rest of the Zealous Racing crew. As you can see, our drivers are heading out there right now for their free practice before qualifying here. And while we're waiting for qualifying to begin, I can give some updates on where we are in the standings right now. So if I pull up the Zealous Racing League standings on the sim grid right now, we've got Christopher Larson in the lead. Let me just turn down that audio just a little bit. But we've got Christopher Larson in the lead right now with 102 points. He has won both races. Then close behind him in points, 10 points behind, is Shankai Zhang, who he has been an absolutely rapid driver ever since starting with Zealous Racing League a few seasons back. And so far has been in great form in that Audi R8. He is performing well, second place in both races, and doing wonders in that car. We'll see if he can do well this week, although One thing to watch out for this week is obviously the Jokers, and Zhang is one of our lucky winners of taking the Joker at the Spa race, along with Sean Collis, Fletcher, and Pena. So we've got a handful of Jokers this race, and if you're new to the season and you're not familiar with what the Joker is, well, it's a new system that we're implementing this season to hopefully provide some better racing. And what our drivers need to do is pick a race that they're not going to be qualifying for. They're going to choose to not take any qualifying laps and start at the back of the grid. And from there, they're going to have to see how good they can do. We've already had a good handful of folks already take their Joker. If I actually go to the Joker screen here that I have, we've had 7 drivers so far take their Joker. We have a lot of other drivers that have yet to take their Joker, so more to come with that. But one of the things that we also had is making sure that our drivers take their Joker lap or submit their Joker information before the second race. And we sadly had a few folks that failed to do so. So they're actually going to have to take 2 Joker races this season. We only have a handful of those folks, but sadly those were the rules that we set in place when we started the season. So, but going back to the standings, one of our championship winners in the past, KP, Kenneth Portis, he is currently sitting in P3 in the standings with 75 points. Has yet to get a win this season. Has yet to get a second place finish this season. Seems to be struggling with the high caliber of drivers that we have in our ranks this season. Drivers like Zhang, Pena. We've got Ricardo Rivera. I missed his race last week, but getting a P3 in his opening race. Other drivers like Marcus here, Van Fleet, doing wonderful with that P4 finish in at the Audi Road Course. Sadly, didn't do so hot last week, but it still puts him at 5th in the standings, right behind Pena. Another driver that had a heartbreak of a race, the first race, is Jose Nunez. Uh, some lap one um, some lap one incidences caused him to spin out and go drop to the back of the pack. So he didn't finish too well. And then I think he actually suffered a disconnect as well. So a double whammy there. Then we have, let's see, some of our other drivers here that have performed well. Belanger missed last week, but did well in the Indy race. Turnbull finished in 8th. Good performance for him last week. Some other drivers here, let's see. That kind of rounds out some of the drivers we're going to have to look out for, though. But current standings, Larson, Zhang, Portis, Pena, Van Fleet, Reed, Harderson, Rivera, Rise, Cormier, Ligno, Nunez, Fletcher, Alberts, Wolf, Belanger, Yao, Turnbull, Sunthalap, Collis, Rodman, Wicks, Fender, Pinio, Henry, Hickman, Johnson, Gomez, Flores, uh, Carrasquillo, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Fox, Bowdry, Huber, Kinney, and Hutchings. Hutchings and Kinney have yet to make a race, but we did get word that Hutchings should be making it tonight for the race tonight. So good to see a Hutchings back on the track. He is a previous winner of one of our Zealous Racing League seasons. So let's get some of that audio back for all of you watchers. Thank you for tuning in for round 3 here. I do have some other news that if you're interested in learning more about Zealous, be sure to subscribe to the channel and join our Discord. The link is on the homepage of the YouTube channel. That's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on anything new for Zealous Racing League seasons or any fun events that we do. One such event that we're having come up this weekend, actually, and it is not too late to sign up, is our 6 hours of Kailami. That is a joint effort between two other North American-based racing communities in Assetto Corsa Competizione. That is Apollo Racing and Delta Racing. We are joining forces with them, and this is actually going to be the final round of a 3-round endurance series that has been put on by all of us North American racing groups. So 6 hours of Kailami. It's this weekend, Saturday, February 4th, and the race begins at noon Eastern Time. So that means that then qualifying and practice will start. Practice will actually start 2 hours before then, and then qualifying will be an hour before the race. There will be full commentary for that race, so be sure to tune in if that is something that interests you. And if you're interested in racing, go to the sim grid and just search for the 6 hours of Kailami, or search for Zealous Racing League, which might be even easier. Search for Zealous Racing League and find our event there. There are, I believe the GT3 slots are completely full right now, but if you join our Discord, I'm sure that we can adjust how many slots there are for GT3s. And we also have a GT4 class racing in the 6 hours of Kailami as well. So maybe if you're interested in trying a GT4 out at Kailami, be sure to sign up soon, because we'd like to see a full grid there for the 6 hours. And it's going to be a fun, pretty much all-day event there on Saturday. So hope to see you guys, and if you're interested, be sure to check that out on the sim grid. Just following Pena here in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club AMR Vantage V8. Pena, like I said, is a newcomer to Zealous and has been doing very well in the top 10, top 5, finished 5th place in both races. It's going to be a tough race for a lot of the drivers here. You know, a lot of the drivers in the Honda, being Rivera, Larson, and Portis, they're going to be absolutely rapid in that Honda. Given the recent balance changes to BOP, one of the tracks that was not affected by the BOP changes was Spa. And before the patch, we all knew how strong the Honda was at Spa here. So it'll be interesting to see if any of our other drivers can really put up a fight to our drivers. To our drivers champion Larson, or really even our Hondas. So we watch Belanger here in that quite wonderful poutine livery. Belanger and Reed both racing in the Ferrari this season. It's a new car for them. They've been racing the Lamborghini for the past few seasons, and now we're switching it up to the Ferrari. And they seem to be doing quite well in the car. Seem to be quite comfortable and performing well. Getting a little hairy between Belanger and Pinio. Ah, yes, look at those. Look at that poutine. scattered around the car. It's tough to know if a lot of these times are going to be reflective of qualifying. We obviously know Zhang will not be qualifying. He's starting at the back of the pack. Larson usually does put a time that's pretty representative of his qualifying pace. He usually puts that up. As he now goes down the hill in that Onid Racing Honda NSX, repping the team that he coaches for. Spa really is I would say a fan favorite track, I should say, among sim racers, and I would think racers in real life alike. A lot of history at Spa, and really suits itself to high speeds in sectors 1 and 3. Sector 2 does get pretty technical, but from what I've seen is that it is far better to be quick in a straight line at this track. Obviously, you have to be able to still hold it in the corners, but straight line speed definitely gives you a big advantage on this track, and that's something that the Honda can take full advantage of with its blistering straight line speed, especially here at Spa. And if I'm not mistaken, I've heard Larson and Portis and a few other guys talk about tuning the NSX for Spa, and actually most of them are running a pretty high wing setup here at Spa, mostly because it's just that difficult to control the NSX as they go around this track. Handles fine in the high speed areas, but when you go down the hill, if you can't hold the car and can't keep it on the track, well, then it's really no good. And then even though they're taking high downforce, high rear wing setups, they're still able to get incredible top speeds in that car. And as you look now with the free practice timing, our 3 Honda NSX drivers are at the top. I'd like to say that's a surprise, but it sadly really isn't. But we'll see if anyone can challenge them today. Let's take a look at who is in the server currently. Already shown Larson, Rivera there. Another Puerto Rico E-Racing Club member, along with Pena. Portis is currently in the pits with his Air Force tribute livery. Zhang in the Audi. With times like that, he's definitely going to hope for a good race, even though he's starting from the back. Even though he's starting from the back, there with the one pit stop could lead to some opportunities there for him to make some moves and get ahead of the pack. Another Audi driver, Nunez, here, hoping for another good result, piggybacking off of last week. Last thing he wants is for it to turn out like it did the first round with disconnection issues and the like. Matthew Reed. The first of our Scuderia Francosugio. The Poutine Ferraris. Pena in the pits right now, rocking the AMR. Ari Harderson, the fastest Porsche driver out there right now. Harderson took the Joker during the first round at the Indy Road circuit, the Indy Road course. So all finished with the Jokers there. Suntalap, another Aston Martin driver. And if you actually look now, Rivera. Looks like there could be a battle between Rivera and Larson today for the race. We'll see if they can. We'll see if Rivera can really keep that pace up going into qualifying. Got Turnbull here in the Audi. Marcus Van Fleet, which I just learned how to pronounce his last name now. I thought it was Van Valet, but I like to make sure I get the names right. So Van Fleet, Van Fleet. All the Canadian, French Canadian drivers really give me a lot of anxiety when it comes to saying their names right. Huber is in the pits right now, but in the Good Smile Racing AMG. Darren Wicks in the worst pace scenario. Worst pace scenario, Audi. Dustin Fletcher here in the Mercedes. Rise rocking that Audi livery. Another Audi and fender. Collis in that flannel Porsche. Henry in the McLaren. Pinio rocking the Mercedes. Dale Rodman Jr. the third in the Audi. Martin Alberts in the Merc. Gomez in the McLaren. Just to have a little bit of a beat up front and back bumper there. Belanger, another poutine racer. Baudry, the last of our poutine racers. No, they're multiplying. Now there's 3 poutines on track. This is boding bad for me. And last but not least, my pick for the best livery this season, Toby Yao in that NSX. But again, I'm a little biased. I think that might be the best livery, but again, a little biased. All right, we've got 3 minutes left in our qualifying session here. As Portis and Rise go up the hill. Sunthilap now going into the pits. Rivera hasn't improved on his qualify or his free practice lap that put him ahead of Larson, if only by less than a tenth of a second. But that's all you need to secure pole position, so be interesting to see how that pans out. 2 minutes left here in free practice before we head into the qualifying session. 12 minutes of qualifying for our drivers before a 65-minute race. 1 mandatory pit stop. Most of our drivers are now opting to just stay in the pits here. It's a long lap here at Spa, so anyone currently in the pits really won't have the time to set another lap in free practice here. With such long laps, it's going to be interesting to see what our drivers choose for their pit strategies. It's also a very long, there's also a very long pit entry where the drivers have to go in through the F1 pit wall and then go all the way around turn 1 to get to their garages. So with such a long pit and such a long lap, it'll be interesting to see what our drivers end up choosing for their strategies, because that pit stop's going to lose them a lot of time. And now free practice is over. It's going to lose them a lot of time. As you can see, it's a night race tonight as well. And as always, I like to follow the first driver out. And that does appear to be the first driver out there does appear to be Nunez. Although he is letting, looks like Portis go by. I'm going to stick to my gut here, and since Nunez actually got out first, I'll let Nunez be the one I follow for the first lap of the race to give everyone a sense of the track and how it flows. Peter Hutchings just entered into the server now. Peter Hutchings is a previous winner of one of Zealous's seasons. I believe it was season 5. And out in front we have, looks like Portis, Penny, or Nunez here, and who is the driver? Looks like the number 2 car of a Larson. So pack of 3 here. As now looks like Larson's opting to let him go by. As we follow Nunez through the chicane here to end his lap, let's go on board into the cockpit to watch his first fast lap as he comes down the start-finish straight into T1. Very quick hairpin right, getting ready for the run up to Raidillon and Eau Rouge. Which one is which, I couldn't tell you, but we'll call it Raidillon and /Eau Rouge for now as he goes up the famous turn. Looks very good. Coming down to the long straight as the drivers really top out their rev ranges, braking right after the curbing starts there into a chicane, and now starts the trek down the hill into the tricky and technical sector 2 as you go into this weird off-camber downhill hairpin right-hand turn. I believe this is No Name, if I'm not mistaken. Going down the hill even further into a tricky double left-hander here. Gotta make sure you get that car rotated and on the power as early as you can so you can power down the hill into a little S section here. handling it well. Maybe a little bit squirrely because it's a little cold and green on the track. A lot of our drivers have yet to lay rubber down. Out of the S's, we come to Sector 3 and what is kind of the last back straight, I should say, of the track. Even though it's not so straight, you pretty much take this flat out in every single car. Maybe a little lift through this little kink here, but most of our drivers can take that full on. As we come towards the final bus stop chicane. Out of the chicane and down the start-finish straight, right next to the F1 pit wall. And Nunez will set a 220. It's a second and a half behind Portis there. But the track is still green, so there's a lot of time to make up now. Portis is with the fastest lap, but we have our drivers coming in behind him now. See what driver is next to cross the finish line. It's going to be the 29 car of Matthew Reed. But Reed ends up messing up the ends up messing up that last turn there, the last chicane. Invalidates the lap. Belanger now, let's see if he can do it. Only 2 drivers to get a clean lap in so far, and the time does tick down quite quickly on this long lap, and that'll be a 23.6. Looking at some of our other drivers here. Matthew Reed, like I said, just invalidated his lap. More drivers coming down the straight here. Rise. Van Fleet. Rivera takes provisional pole with a 219.052. It's going to put him in provisional pole, like I said, and let's see if any of our other drivers have anything to say about that. Going down to Larson now. Larson has yet to set a fast lap. He's now back on a out lap. Must have had to make some setup changes, realized something was wrong. Van Fleet must have invalidated his lap as well, or he was on an out lap. The 84 car now comes through of KP. See if he can do one better here on Rivera. And he cannot. He does improve on his time, though. Puts him within a 10th of our provisional pole sitter. Watching maybe some of our other drivers here. Driver watch, obviously Larson here, as he's still on his out lap. Number 1 car of Harderson now. For the first hopefully valid lap. Last lap seems to have been an invalidation. Harderson right now looking pretty good. Definitely not so good. Like not the fastest all around, but I think it'll be a lap. And indeed, still almost 2.5 seconds back from our pole sitter. But right in the mix there in P6 provisionally. And I believe if we take a look back, Larson now coming across the start finish for his first hot lap, and that'll put him at provisional pole with a 2:18.5, almost a half a tenth faster than Rivera. And it looks like the McLaren of Gomez there kind of pulled Larson off of the track. It's going to take up some precious time of his. He had to make some laps happen. Looking at Zhang taking the Joker lap. Now Van Fleet coming through in the Porsche. Let's see how he does. Things are looking a little off pace there, and it does appear to be so. A 7.2 behind Larson. A few other drivers putting their names up there on the board. Portis now seeing if he can improve, and he does, and it actually puts him on provisional pole now, only 2 thousandths faster than Larson. Very close battles here. Track is still green, so it'll be interesting to see what Larson does. And looking at some of the sector times, it does appear that his last sector, Larson's last sector, was faster. Take a look here as he comes across into sector 3. Car out on the track. Looks like Rise out on the side there. As Larson now goes past the sector 3 marker here. Just a moment, seeing if it's any faster. Doesn't appear so yet. Two drivers have yet to set a time, Suntlap and Hutchings. Hutchings seems to be on his first fast lap right now in that Mercedes. Let's watch Larson here as he crosses that start finish. Can he do one better? I think he's going to. Oh, he does not. 236. Must have been hampered, like I said, from the previous lap. He's only got maybe one or two of those left. Suntlap comes up the hill. Looks like he invalidated his last lap. Let's watch Hutchings yet to finish a lap. But let's watch him in hopes that he can put it in the top. This comes down the back straight section here. That's a tricky corner for that. It's a tricky corner for that Merc to handle. Having tried it myself, that is a corner that the Merc does not seem to handle very well. And here Hutchings goes, sets himself into P6. Very respectable lap, 220.4. Larson now halfway through his lap. Hopefully he can do one better. Portis now is also coming out for another hot lap. Rivera out on the track currently. He was on an out lap, it looks like last lap. Now trying to do one better. Belanger doing great in that Ferrari. It's quite incredible to see how far all the other cars are off the pace from the Hondas. It's kind of a little bit ridiculous, I'm not going to lie. Almost a second and a half off the pace. It's pretty incredible to see that difference. But Belanger is the best of the rest right now with that 220. And there it is. Larson sets a 217.8. Track is now fast. So that is something to note. But that is our provisional pole sitter right now. As Rivera now is crossing the line, he is able to improve his lap, puts himself ahead of Portis with a 218, almost flat. But now Portis has got to answer. Let's see what he's got in the tank. As he goes through the chicane. 1 minute left in qualifying. And it looks like he's able to improve, but that's not the margin of improvement that he's hoping for. He needs to improve still about a little over a half a second if he wants to get back on pole. He's got one more chance to do it too. This is going to be his last lap of qualifying. Looking at some of our other fast drivers, looks like Nunez now best of the rest with a 1:19.3. Good show from him so far. Belanger still out there hoping to get maybe 2 more laps left in that Ferrari. Hutchings now going up to Radiano Rouge. He's currently provisionally 6th place. Reed doing well. Let's see if Portis is... Oh, nope. Sorry, we just watched him. Reed seems to be a lot more comfortable in that Ferrari than the Lamborghini. Now qualifying is over. This will be the last lap for a lot of these drivers. Number 6 of Matt Fender is the first to come across with his final lap. Let's watch the drivers as they come in now. Obviously, only drivers to have not set a lap so far are the ones that are taking their joker. Fender crossed the finish line, able to improve P13. Next, 2 cars behind him. Suntalap. Is he able to improve? He is. P12. Behind him was the, let's see if I can get it right. I think that was Nunez. Nunez was able to improve as well. Now a second back from the leaders. 24 car of Gomez. See if he's able to improve. And he is. By about a little over a half a second. Number 1 car of Harderson. Behind Harderson, Turnbull. See if Harderson can improve. Does by a little less than a half a second. And Turnbull, looks like Turnbull, he was able to improve as well. 84 car of Portis crossing the line. And he does improve, but again, not by enough. The 77 car now crossing the line. Let's see if I can find 77 of Wicks. Currently P11. 44 car of Hutchings. Not going to get the opportunity, I don't think. I think he already invalidated his lap or something. And he is in the pits. The 29 car next is Reed and Huber behind. Huber currently sitting 14, Reed in 7. See if they can both improve. Reed is going to cross and set his fastest lap along with Huber right behind. Both of them going to go back-to-back 5th and 6th. A lot of cars behind now. .210 car. Let's see if I can find it here. Of Rise able to set his fastest lap. A lot of the drivers were able to improve there at the end with the track conditions improving. And now as we go into the race, here, our drivers are going to hope to improve on their qualifying positions. The grid so far, though, for this 65-minute race is Larson, your pole sitter. Very familiar place for him to be. Rivera, P2, Portis, 3, Nunez, 4, Reed, 5, Huber in 6th, Belanger in 7th, Hutchings in 8th, Turnbull in 9th, Harderson in 10th, Van Fleet in 11th, Rise, Wicks, Beaudry, Suntalap, Fender, Alberts, Yao, Pinio, Henry, Rodman, Gomez, Zhang, Fletcher, Pena, and last but not least, Collis. Those last 4 cars are the ones that have taken their Joker lap so far, or sorry, their Joker race. So they purposely did not qualify as per the rules. All of our drivers have to do that once. And they have got that out of the way for this round at Spa with 1 minute and 45 seconds left until we go to the race. We got a short run up for our drivers. They're going to turn the corner on what is turn 1. And when they look up at Eau Rouge and Radion. That is when the green light will fall. With a minute and a half left, I want to just thank you all for tuning in. And if you're interested in learning more about Zealous Racing League and future leagues, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow our Discord, join our Discord channel. That's where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on all of our leagues and special events. One such special event is the 6 Hours of Kailami, which is coming up this Saturday, February 4th. The race starts at noon Eastern Standard Time. Qualifying starts an hour before that, and an hour before that is when the free practice starts. There are still slots open in the GT4 class, and I believe we can make some slots open in the GT3 class if that is what you are truly interested in. So as we come up here, it's time for our drivers to click drive themselves. Make sure they have the fuel that they need. Make sure that they have fresh tires on. Make sure all of their final setup changes are made. And now it is time for them to give it their all for an hour and 5 minutes here. Engines will turn on. And here we go on the run-up to the start of this race. 3 Hondas lead the pack. It's going to be a dominant car here. We all knew that going in. And there they are lining up now. Larson in the front. Rivera right beside him, jockeying for who's going to get the line up into Eau Rouge and Radion. As the drivers are all turned the corner now, lights will go green soon. And there they go, lights are green. Larson gets a great jump off the line, and he's going to close off Rivera going up into Eau Rouge Radion. And things are looking good so far. A couple drivers off track, but no wrecks just yet. Looks like everyone is safe going through Eau Rouge and Radion. Nunez is close behind the pack of Honda NSXs there, and they're just following the train in there now as gets a little bit dicey there in the pack. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully everyone can get through this first really real corner here safely as well, and it appears that they are able to, as Larson's really not pulling away from Rivera there as they go down in the hill into Sector 2. Into the technical part of the track. This is where where other cars are going to be dominating and really going to hit their stride. The Hondas are going to struggle maybe a little bit here, but with their fast pace elsewhere in the track, I think that won't hurt them nearly as much. As Larson now pulling away from the pack. Currently a half a second now ahead of Rivera. Only one lap even into the race now. Let's look at some other work that's being going on right now. Looks like some cars off to the sides. Hutchings and Reed, Huber. Oh, somebody's going down. Looking at the cars that are going down, looks like everyone's good so far. Zhang already up in the 19th. Looks like Hutchings made the move on Huber here, but can Huber take it back going into the chicane? Hutchings makes that Merc fat. Ooh, and Huber clips him on the rear. Ooh, oh, and Belanger gets him as well. That is not what you want to see, and it looks like, is that Belanger spun around as well? Ooh, I think that was Belanger, and that's not a great re-entrance from him as well. Huber did make a bit of a dive there. Wonder how that's going to go on with the stewards after the race. But that promotes Huber into 6th. Turnbow moves up quite a few places as well. Now takes the position from Huber. looks like, let's see where Hutchings is currently. He's currently back in P22 in that car. Got the 53 car of Rodman. Ooh, looks like he binned it up Eau Rouge and Radion. Maybe some contact between him and another driver. And now puts him into the back of the pack. Portis, Rivera, and Larson are now starting to shake Nunez and the pack behind. Reed is staying close to Nunez, though, trying to just maintain that slipstream. Got a big pack kind of forming here with Harderson, Huber, Turnbow, Rise, and Beaudry. Looks like Beaudry's maybe looking to make a move here going down the hill. Even Van Fleet is getting in there as well. Close racing between our drivers. Beaudry getting close to Rise's bumper there, and Rise does go wide. Is going to give Beaudry the opportunity to make it work, but Rise keeps that inside line and keeps the position. Probably a little bit of an off track for him, but does maintain the position for now. Hutchings now P19. Pena moving from the back of the pack up into 16. Zhang now P12 after starting near the back. Good performances from our Joker drivers so far. Got some battles here in the midfield for that final top 10 position. Rise has got it currently. Van Fleet is taking that inside line, though, on Beaudry and makes the move. Is he going to make it stick? It looks like he will. Fender's in the pits. Pit window is open. Fender opts to take that pit right away. Maybe some lap 1 damage that he is trying to manage currently as they all go up the hill. Turnbull now starting to pull a gap on the drivers behind. Harderson hoping to pull in on Huber here. Nunez and Reed also battling it out here. The 53 car of Rodman is also in the pits after that little bit of a mishap there. I can imagine those are going to be things we're going to want to watch at the end. Our stewards are going to look at that and see what happened. Zhang closing in awfully fast to the drivers ahead of Van Fleet, Beaudry, and Rise battling it out. Hutchings is back into P16 after that tussle with Huber. And, doesn't appear to be anything going on quite just yet between those drivers, but close battles between these three, Rise, Beaudry, and Van Fleet. Appears Beaudry retook the move. And Rise gets awfully squirrely on the exit of that turn. In the opening stages of Sector 3 there on lap 3. We'll lose the position. We'll lose all those positions there, setting himself behind Zhang now. Zhang will move up into P11. And now might be a golden opportunity for him to get into the top 10 here as he sneaks up behind Van Fleet here. This might give Beaudry a chance to kind of pull ahead here. Let's watch and see. Zhang close behind to go up the famous Eau Rouge Radion. Oh, and that is Beaudry going into the wall. That'll promote Van Fleet here up into P9. As Beaudry gets back onto the track. Now, let's see where Zhang will make this move happen. Hutchings now, P15, makes the move on Alberts. Pena close behind Wicks, hoping to make the move after taking his Joker this race. Van Vliet giving Zhang a bit of a run for his money. Hasn't been a good opportunity for him to make the move just yet. Awfully close, these two drivers going down the hill. Interesting to note that the track condition is still not optimal. It looks like maybe Van Vliet just gave up the position there. Unless maybe got a little bit dangerous on the exit. Harderson has pulled a gap now in front of that little battle. Rivera is holding with, or actually that's not Rivera, that is I think a lapped car behind. The number 6 car, Offender, indeed, is close to Larson. Could be dangerous for Larson in the event that Fender maybe loses it a little bit. Not that he will. Fender's a good driver. Portis seems to be struggling for pace a little bit here. Nunez is within a second of him. We have Wicks and Pena battling for P14. Alberts is, Hutchings isn't too far ahead. Hutchings having probably made the move on both of them already. Some good moves from Hutchings in that Merc so far. Got a squabble of cars here at the back. Pinot, Belanger, Fletcher, a few others. Looks like Collis is getting into that mix here as they all head up the hill. Awfully close together, these drivers. Let's watch this little battle here of Fletcher, Pinot, and Belanger. Belanger made it on Rodman, actually. That's Rodman. It's a lapped car. The real battle here is between Belanger and Fletcher. See if he can make the move. Belanger's got the inside line on the Mercedes, but that's the next turn that really matters, with Fletcher keeping the inside into no name, and he'll hold the position for now. Rodman opting to let Pinot and Collis through. Close battles between these guys for P18. All of these are hard-fought battles. It looks like Pinot and Collis go wide, but they keep it together. Fletcher takes the outside, and Belanger looks at it, thinks a little bit better of it. Pinot getting into the mix there as well. Belanger is currently in a Merc sandwich right now. As they come down through Sector 3, 170, the 731 car of Beaudry is in the pits currently. A couple drivers already opting to take their pit stops. Maybe wanting to just get some clear air so they don't have to be fighting with anyone. Belanger takes the inside line into the chicane, and Fletcher broke a little bit later, took the outside. He'll come out a little bit better for it. But Belanger does have the run down turn 1 and the inside line going into the hairpin here, and looks like Collis is going to stick his nose in there on Pinot, and Collis makes the move as well as Belanger. Both of those guys move up. Little double move action between some of our drivers here. Rise, Hutchings, and it looks like that is Yao behind. Zhang into P8 now. Huber and Turnbull still battling it out. got some great battles tonight already. Well, it has been a fairly action-packed sequence of events so far in the opening laps of this race. We'll see if any other drivers do opt to take an early pit stop. Beaudry, sorry. Now coming out on his outlap. I think he's in the thick of it though. These guys getting close to Hutchings here. You know, seeing if he can make a move, but isn't able to just yet. Pena, maybe tires are falling off a little bit for him. Pena currently sitting P14. Yao isn't able to get close enough to make a move on Rise here. Now as the pack settles out, if you like what you're seeing here and want to join in as well, be sure to like and subscribe to the to the YouTube channel. And if you want to get racing with Zealous, you're new to the community and new to sim racing, be sure to join that Discord that is linked in the homepage, and maybe take a look at the 6 hours of Kailami endurance event that we have coming up this weekend. If you want more information on that, go to the sim grid and be sure to search up Zealous Racing League and look for that 6 hours of Kailami. Should be a fun race. Live stewarding and commentating will be offered. Looks like Yao isn't able to get close enough to make an impact here, but somebody to watch is Zhang, already in P8. Closing in on Huber. Looking awfully comfortable in that Audi this season so far. I bet he would be able to put himself into that top group of drivers if he wasn't taking his Joker. Definitely felt confident in his ability to move up the pack here. And maybe a really great strategic choice in the championship for Zhang. Now Zhang close to Huber here. Takes the outside. Ooh, and Huber does plant himself on the inside. As they go up Eau Rouge and Ready on here. Zhang tucks in, blocks off Huber. Is able to make the move stick. It was an excellent textbook move there from Zhang. Aggressive, but not unsafe at all. Just being very meticulous, almost surgical in his overtakes. Excellent work from him so far this race. And soon he'll be trying to take on Turnbull here. Looks like there could be a battle brewing in the back here with Rise and Pena and Yao. Let's see if Pena can make the move. come down the hill. Ooh, and it looks like Rise gets maybe a little oversteer, loses the car a bit. That'll Pena inherit P13 from Rise there. Now he'll go on to attack Yao. Huber goes up the inside of Zhang there and will retake the position from Zhang. Awfully ambitious of him. Let's see if Zhang will be able to make the move again. Interesting turn of events here. Was not expecting this battle to occur. But Huber, with a very aggressive move there, does take the position. Now Zhang's got the run. Going up the hill. And is very close to Huber now. As they come down the straight here, looks like Zhang has got the speed. He is in front of Huber currently. Huber's got that inside line though, and Zhang is going to kind of squeeze him there. Takes a really nice line there. Close battling between these two. And Zhang will retake P7. But is Huber going to respond down the hill here into this off-camber hairpin? Doesn't appear that he is able to make that move yet, but let's watch. Maybe he's got some gas in the tank to make this happen again. Zhang now trying to pull away. See if he's able to do it. Huber just staying in that slipstream. Trying not to make any mistakes as they come down the hill. Very close, these two drivers, into this middle section. Looks like Zhang optimized his car for a little bit of straight line speed. Looks like he's struggling in Sector 2 in comparison to that Merc. And if you look at the previous, if you do look at the previous lap, their sectors 2, are identical. We'll see if Huber makes another move here. He's not able to do it now. Zhang moves closer to Turnbull as well. Close battles between these drivers, and if we go back a little bit further, Harderson, Van Fleet, and Hutchings are all having some battles as well. Hutchings making his way back from that incident with Huber, maybe trying to get a little bit of revenge. Hutchings takes kind of a little bit of a wider line into it and gets a good run going up to Rouge and Radion. Side by side as they go into the famous corner. And they're keeping it nice and clean so far. Van Fleet gets a little bit off the track there, and Hutchings will stay on, will inherit the position. But good work to not run into each other there. It's definitely very scary. That's a Code Brown moment going up the hill too wide there. So Hutchings back into the top 10. Zhang now on the tail of Turnbull. Now we're past 20 minutes in this race. Our drivers might start thinking about doing pit stops here shortly. I myself am going to take a quick water break here because I feel my voice leaving me. So I'm going to go grab a quick drink of water, and I'll be right back. I'll leave you to your own devices here, watching the stream. I will be back in a moment. Howdy, 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 everyone. I am back. Shoot a quick message in the chat if you're around and enjoying everything. It looks like Larson has taken his pit stop already. 35 minutes left in this race. Taking a look at where Larson now sits in the standings. He is currently P18. He's got some nice open air and stuff in front of him. Looks like there's a car having a bit of an issue there in front of him. One of the Spa-Francorchamps guys. 117, excuse me. The 117 car of Belanger. Fletcher with a drive-through. Maybe from some off tracks or from, yeah, must be from his off tracks. Interesting there. Looking back, Hutchings now has already taken his pit stop. Repaired the damage, I think, that was on his car. Now just has to make it to the end, running 2:19s in optimum weather right now. It's some nice quick laps from him. If we look at a lot of our fastest drivers that are running in the 2:19s and 2:18s, Ricardo Rivera now is in the lead. Hasn't taken his pit stop though. He's taking the opportunity to stay ahead as long as he can. Portis isn't too far behind. Currently sitting about 4.5 to 5 seconds behind Rivera. Nunez again another 4 seconds behind. Portis. Between them, they have the 34 car of Pena, and Rivera opts to stay out. Remember, 58.5 minutes of time that our drivers have to make their pit stop. That is the pit window. Excuse me. And that does mean that right about now, we are halfway through the race and halfway through that pit window. Now that we've hit that halfway point, I think a lot more of our drivers are going to be opting to take that pit stop. I think the 424 car of Van Vliet is coming in, and indeed he is. The number 9 car of Yao is coming in, I believe. And indeed, that does appear to be the case. Just look at how far back our drivers do come out from where they began after a pit stop. That pit stop is very long, very brutal, but everyone has to do it. Do apologize, seems my voice isn't doing too hot right now. Coughing a bunch, but the show must go on. Another driver that we've been watching is Zhang here. Looks to have some damage on the front of that car. Currently running P5, which is going to be about P6 after pit stops. After starting at the back of the grid too, that's going to be a wonderful performance for him. Been an absolute charge for him, and seeing Seeing that we still have so much time left in the race, we'll see if he can get to Reed. Up in front of him, Rivera now in the pits. Portis opting to stay out. Looks like Huber here into the pits. Reed doing very, very well today in that Ferrari. Zhang up the hill, trying to chase him down. Now, if we look here, Rivera currently still in the pits, 99 car. 99 car coming out of the pits right now of Pinio. Glenn's having a good race so far. Number 6 car, caution on the top of the hill. That's Fender. Take a look at what happened to Fender here. Looks like Fender has left the server. Maybe some connection issues or maybe frustration. Never like to see that though. Nunez 5 seconds back. Portis now in the lead of the race. Waiting for his opportunity to take his pit stop. And that will not be yet. Half of the field has taken their pit stop already. A lot of midfield drivers now. Huber coming out of the pits. Wicks, Albert, Sunthalap all in the pits. Nunez now taking his pit. Hope you guys are all enjoying this race so far. It's been very interesting battles in the midfield. A lot of really great battles between some of our drivers. Take a look at where Larson is in this little pack here. Little pack of drivers. 119 car of Huber and Van Vliet behind him. Hutchings has made the move on Huber after the pit stops. Now Van Vliet hoping to make the move here. Seeing if he can get close enough. Zhang with all the pit stops. Nunez and Reed now. Zhang is promoted into P2. Gomez, Collis. Collis is in the pits. Gomez Ra is now in the pits as well, I should say. Rise, Harderson, Turnbull, Zhang, and Portis have yet to make their pit stops. Baudry bins it on his way up Eau Rouge and out up on top of the hill. Cars in front. Let's see if Portis chooses to take his pit now. And he does. There it is. He's making his pit stop. Zhang behind. Let's see if Zhang opts for the pit stop as well. 19 seconds behind Portis. And Zhang will also choose to go into the pits now. Turnbull now into the pits. Harderson opts to stay out. Rise coming down. These are the last few drivers to make their pit stop. Gomez with a stop-go 30-second penalty. Ooh, Rise gets a little bit squirrely on braking there. Almost lost the car. Turnbull's in the pits. And there, Portis now. Hardison up the hill. In the provisional lead of the race. Larson now crossing the start-finish line. Now 30 seconds is what our drivers are going to have to stop for those tires. Drive-through penalty for Henry. Probably for track limits there. And Larson now passes the pits. And is that Zhang there stopping his car? I think that is Zhang stopping his car. Probably going to repair some of the damage on the front. Larson, or Portis, sorry, still in the pits. Larson and Rivera now. Rivera is coming down to go up the hill. And it looks like is he going to be able to make it? I don't think Portis is going to be able to get close enough. But I will say that does appear to have closed the gap between Portis and Rivera. Now, Rivera's going to have a lot better run up that hill than Portis does. And now they are 2.5 seconds back from each other there, Rivera and Portis. So definitely good for Portis to stay out a little bit longer. Portis is going to have fresher tires till the end of the race now. Hopefully that strategy continues to pay off for him. Hutchings now P9 after that little bit of an incident with some of the drivers like Huber and a few others. Belanger and Baudry don't seem to be having the greatest of times so far. Currently down in 24th and 25th. Let's take a look at the rest of our drivers here. Hardison opting to stay out. Currently in the provisional lead of the race, but that's not going to last long once Hardison decides to take the pit stop. Same with Rise now, currently in the pits, taking his pit stop. Larson is our leader. Rivera. Portis. Nunez having a bit of a quiet race, I should say. But still holding P6 right now. Is going to be P4, I think, after the pit stops, maybe. Reed having a great race so far, P7. But a few drivers, like I said, still have to take that pit. Running in the 219s currently. Zhang having an absolutely blistering drive, starting in the back of the pack. Starting oh gosh, I want to say it was P23. Moving his way now up into the top 10 is going to be a great performance from him. And now he is 5 seconds back from Reed in front. That's quite a big, if you remember before the pit stops and everything, he was, I believe, 9, maybe 10 seconds back. And now he's closing that gap quite rapidly. Hutchings. Huber right behind, battling with Van Fleet. Looks like actually Van Fleet might have a bit of a run here. Doesn't appear so. Tough for the Porsche to get the power. Oh no! And that's Marcus into the wall. Gets a little bit squirrely. Oh, that is heartbreaking to see. Heartbreaking to see. Oh my goodness, so much damage on that Porsche. He's going to have to take a pit stop. There's almost certainly some suspension damage, as well as the obvious cosmetic damage and aerodynamic damage to that Porsche. That is heartbreaking to see from a man who's been running quite well all race long. in the battle for P9 with Huber. This gets a little bit out of hand there. Yao running with the Honda NSX this season. P13. Wicks. Alberts. Looks like Rise is back in the pits again. I wonder what happened there. Sunthalap. Hardison yet to take the pit. Collis. Rise. Currently in the pits right now. Rodman. Making the move on Fletcher there. Ooh, and they have contact. Both of them go spinning out there. Pena will make a move, and that's the leader right there. A little bit of contact between Fletcher and Rodman there. Looks like it maybe was a racing incident, though. Fletcher. There's Rise again now. Losing more positions, Henry. Remember, Henry had a bit of an off-track incident, I think, causing him to move down. Gomez running in 21 right now. Got a stop-go 30, though. Pinio almost skipped over Glenn there. Can't skip over our old Canadian racer. Doing quite well in that Merc today. Keep up the good work there. Glenn Belanger and Beaudry. Some of our Canadian friends. Hardison here still has yet to make the pit. Larson is closing in pretty fast. I think Hardison's just trying to take advantage of as much fresh air as possible. Hasn't had to really run with anyone up here in a while. Got Sunthalap behind. Looking for some battles here. Field has gotten pretty spread out so far. It's the one thing with this long lap that it is Spa. It's tough to follow a lot of it. Hardison coming to the bus stop now. Still not making the pit. Hardison opting to stay out. Rivera quite a ways behind Larson now. Larson absolutely commanding this race. Looks like he's going to get his three-peat. Zhang is now a second from 1.8 seconds away from Reed and getting closer. Let's take a look at Zhang and Nunez here as Nunez comes up over Radion. Sorry, that's not the right battle. It's going to be Reed and Zhang here. Less than 15 minutes left in this race. As they come down the straight here. Those downshifts are getting awfully close to Reed. Feeling the pressure here. Hardison yet to make the pit stop. We'll have to see where Hardison ends up with this battle. Zhang hoping to take what is currently P6. From Reed. Reed is definitely the best of our French-Canadian friends. Having the best race today, I should say. As Wicks now comes up the hill. Now Larson, currently the leader. Henry right in front of him. Collis up the hill. All right, and the battle still continues. Larson now in the lead of the race. Hardison dropping back. Now in the pits, Rivera crosses. Make it through. Portis as well. Nunez now crossing, and now these two battling it out. Let's see here. Where will Hardison come out? Is Hardison out of the pits just yet? Doesn't appear so. Is Hardison moving? Nope, these guys are going to move up. It's going to be Reed and Zhang now fighting for P5 and 6. Take a look at our Ferrari driver there. Under that helmet, there's a French-Canadian. Focused on the road. And focused on his rear view monitor, rear view like little monitor thing there. Getting awfully close. Ooh, and there's a car in the middle of the road. Who was that? Was that Henry? A 24 car. Yes, I believe that is... Oh, actually, no, that's the 24 car of Gomez. Parked in the middle of the road there. That is not a great place for him to be. Wonder what happened there. Did he run out of fuel? Not entirely sure. He should really get off the track now. just realized I've been muted for this whole time, for the last little bit, because I was coughing. But awfully close battles between those two, and Zhang, wonderful move to take P5 from Reed. I do apologize for that little technical hiccup there. Been coughing quite a lot, so trying not to have that go through the stream. Less than 7 minutes left. Larson commanding the race. Fastest lap, leading all the laps, well, other than the pit stop. But his fastest lap is a 2:17.9. Actually, not. Oh, sorry, no. Fastest lap is a 2:16.9. That is the fastest lap of the race. Everyone else has been able to do no better than 17.8. As Zhang continues the charge up the field. Portis now getting close to Rivera. Now 2 seconds back. Taking a look at Portis here as he gets closer and closer, now 2 seconds from Rivera. Remember, Portis is on the fresher tires here. He's been running faster laps every single lap. Watching Harderson, after leading the race for a bit, demoted down to P10 after the pit stops. Looks like it maybe wasn't the best strategy to stay out there a bit longer. But Hardison is closing in on Turnbull here for P9. Watching Rivera and Portis here. Portis seems to be losing some time on the straights there to Rivera, but gaining some time back in sectors 2 and 3. Looking at the last few laps, well, last few laps haven't been great for Rivera, but it does appear to be Sector 2 where Portis is better in and really makes a lot of his ground. Sunthelat getting close to Alberts here for P14, something to watch close to the end here, as we only have less than 5 minutes left in this race. You know, as much as Spa does spread out, because it is such a large lap, it's been surprisingly action-packed, I'd say, with a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers have been racing very close to each other all race long. And even if they haven't been super maybe close all the time, they always find a way of, you know, making up some of that time. Three minutes, 30 seconds left in this race. Maybe 2 laps. Maybe 2 laps. I think there's going to be 2 laps left in this race, given where our leader currently is. Is Portis going to be able to bridge that gap and take away P2, get his first second place performance of the season, or is he going to have to settle for third? Looking at our drivers now, 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Portis just losing time on that first straight. to Rivera isn't able to make up as much time as he wants, as he'd like. And as Larson now coming to the end of this lap, as he comes into the final chicane. That will be the white flag flying across that start-finish line, as this will be the final lap of the race. Larson, having commanded this race from the beginning, looks to get the three-peat, the hat trick. He's won every race so far. What are we going to do to nerf him next race? I don't know. We think maybe giving him a little love tap into the barrier, make sure he has 30 seconds of damage. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We only dream about doing that. We won't actually do it. Harderson, though. Close battles with Harderson and Turnbull right now, as they still have to finish this lap and one whole lap left in this race. It's going to be a long run up to the finish of this race. Portis still falling to Rivera there. I don't know if he's going to be able to make up that time. Suntalap has made the move on Albert's back there for P14. Harderson and Turnbull still battling it out here. This is going to be their last lap of the race now as they cross the start-finish line. And there they go, awfully close. Harderson 2/10 back. As they go up on top of the hill now. Harderson, is Harderson going to get the line, get the run up? I don't know if the juice is in that Porsche. Got the slipstream though. Going to remain close. We'll come back to that, but let's watch our winner of the race cross the line. Congratulations to Larson on another outstanding performance. Rivera now going to be crossing next. Alberts is now finished 15. Rivera, another great performance as well, P2. And Portis close behind, just couldn't make the move, couldn't get the momentum to make that pass. Nunez, P4, great performance in that Audi. Zhang, absolutely fabulous performance from Zhang here, coming from the back of the pack. This is his Joker race, remember, and finishing in P5. That is incredible. That is a great outcome for really the worst scenario that we have. Harderson, don't know if he's going to be able to make the move. Reed, 6th place. Hutchings, after some mishaps early in the race, is going to finish P7. Lee Huber finishing P8. There's Turnbull and Harderson. Doesn't look like Harderson's going to be able to make that move, make any moves stick. Really too bad, but great performance from both of them. Turnbull 9, Harderson 10. Great drives from both of them. Pena in 11th after taking his Joker as well. So he's going to be happy with that performance. Another person that's going to be happy is Collis, finishing P15 after taking the Joker. Yao crossing the start and finish in 12th. Wicks still has a little bit of room to go, but going to finish 13th. Gomez, Rise, and Beaudry Going to be coming in behind there. Great performances from our drivers there. As we wait for Gomez to cross the line, and there we have it, folks. That's the race. Your winner is Christopher Larson. Second, Ricardo Rivera. And third, Kenneth Portis, the second. That is your podium. That is the podium. Going back into the timetables, let's do a last minute run through our standings right now. Larson wins the race, will maintain his lead over the championship standings. Rivera will get P2, Portis 3, that'll round out the podium. Nunez, Zhang, Reed, Hutchings, Huber, Turnbull, Harderson, Pena, Yao, Wicks, Sunthalap, Alberts, Collis, Fletcher, Henry, Pinio, Rodman, Belanger, Gomez, Van Fleet, Rise, Fender, and Beaudry. That is going to be the final standings so far, and got a special guest to bring in for you all here. Let's go into our broadcast booth here, and I'm going to pull up one of our drivers to do a quick interview. So I'm going to move Zhang up here. Hey, Zhang, can you hear me, and can you talk as well?
Hello, hello. I can hear
Hello,
you.
hello, Zhang. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? Zhang, right?
Yeah, good. That's perfect.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, hey, congrats on that P5 performance on the race that you took your Joker. That was an incredible drive. Congratulations on that. Was this a track you were pretty certain you could make up a lot of ground on? Is that why you took your Joker today, or what was that thought on taking the Joker, and why did you do it here at Spa?
Well, it's for a couple of reasons. Um, for one, I'm not great at this track. Um, and for another, probably the biggest reason is Honda is just too strong here. There's no chance I beat any of them.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, my championship rivals are, all in the Hondas.
Right.
So uh, yeah, there's no better track to do it. And with long straights, you can mess around with your setup to get very good straight line speed. Makes overtaking easy.
Yeah, I mean that was an incredible show there. You're just passing with ease. It seemed like starting from I think P23, working their way all up to P5. So that was just an incredible performance. And what do you think about your championship contenders right now? What do you think about Larson's drive, Portis, even Rivera now? The last couple rounds. What do you think about your championship battle with them?
Well, at the moment, I think it's fair to say Larson is a bit out of the reach. Um, I try my best, but
Never say
it's re
never, you know. You never say
yeah,
never. You never know.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, my PBs is basically his like consistent pace. So yeah, he's gonna be hard to beat, but I try my best, and I'm sure it'll be fun battling for P2 in the championship with Rivera and Portis.
Yeah, right on. It's already shaping up to be a great battle, and we're only 3 rounds in, so it's been incredible driving so far. I think my last question too is regarding your car choice this season. I remember last time you raced with us, you were in the Ferrari, and now you've chosen to move over into the Audi. What's your thoughts behind that change? It's just because that Audi is maybe a little easier to drive than the Ferrari, or what?
I actually find the Audi to be a lot harder to drive than the Ferrari.
Oh,
The
really?
Ferrari has great traction control. On the corner exit, you
Mm,
can just slam down on the throttle and the car will just stick. Not so much with the Audi, and I struggled a lot
mm,
when prepping for Indy.
yeah,
Um, but the reason I changed is mainly because this calendar really isn't a Ferrari calendar.
right,
Uh, yeah, Ferrari is like one of the worst cars on this calendar. Um, and also, in season A, I was just frustrated with straight line speed and the corner exit acceleration, the initial acceleration the Ferrari was getting. So
right.
like think back to the Kailami round where I was pretty much stuck behind Portis for the entire race.
Right,
I had a better race pace throughout, but just couldn't make the pass because Ferrari just has no straight line speed, and Audi is a great alternative to fix that problem.
right. Yeah, very much so. I think I've actually heard my friend, well, Slim Friesen, who's raced with Zealous in the past, also a Ferrari driver. He says, that slamming down on the pedal is what works really well with him for racing in that Ferrari. So it's interesting to see that change from the Ferrari to the Audi, how much that really does, affect kind of your driving style. So that's very interesting to hear. So yeah, well,
Yeah.
Zhang, thank you so much. Have any last minute thoughts before ending the night?
I just want to say great race. I mean, this was very fun taking the Joker, and everyone was super clean. It was a fantastic
Yeah,
race, and thanks to Zealous for putting on such a great championship.
awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Zhang. Excellent drive tonight. Congrats on that P5 performance. You know, it's not a podium, but after starting with that Joker, that's about as much as you probably could ask for. So again, congrats on that, and we'll see you next week on track.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thanks,
Yeah.
man. Bye. Well, there you have it, folks. That was Shenkai Zhang, our current, I think, P2 in the standings. Got P5 in that race after taking his Joker, and you heard it from him. Um, was an incredible drive from him. And you'll see all of these drivers back next week, where we have our round four at Snetterton. It's going to be another great race. Got even more folks taking their Joker next week. Um, at Snetterton, and we'll just have to see where the championship standings take us. So, again, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us for season 10 of Zealous Racing League. It's been my pleasure. I've been Shim. I've been your host. It's been my pleasure to host these races for you. I hope you all have a wonderful night and stay safe out there. I'll see you all next week.